Hello. I'm just getting ready to leave for Ontario. I'm going to do some traveling and probably stay in Hamilton for a bit and visit some friends that I haven't seen for a while. And if I sent this to you, it's because you should invite me to stay at your house because I'm totally being a vagabond. Anyways, I was just watching Oprah, and since I won't have TV in a while, possibly, or time to make random YouTube rants, that I would talk about it. It was a rerun of the show she had with Michael Moore about Sicko, and she had the woman, the doctor from the movie, some German guy, professor, and another woman who was representing the insurance companies basically, and then Oprah, obviously. I love you, Oprah! Anyways, I live in Canada, so it was kind of interesting because they had two people in the audience. One was from Scotland and one was from Canada, and they kind of briefly were saying, oh yeah, we have waiting lists, whatever, but I don't know. Anyways, and yeah, I just thought I'd talk about that because, I mean, in Canada the thing is the different provinces get to basically decide. So there's like 10 provinces and then 3 territories, but I'll just not talk about those for now. The deal is like each area, kind of like a little bit how the states have different domains over the different areas for different issues, depending on whether it's federal or state. Anyways, so healthcare is a state thing. Provinces in Canada, for those Americans if you're watching. Anyways, so basically the provinces of Canada get to decide about healthcare, and in BC our healthcare has been somewhat not being the greatest, and I find it irritating. I haven't really done anything in terms of activism about it or anything, but I don't know, it's mildly irritating because they're trying to privatize a bit more, and they are in some ways, and it's just like slowly becoming closer to the American system, like everything in Canada does sometimes. As much as we don't like to admit it, really our only excuse is, oh, but we're not as bad as the Americans. It's like, okay, that's a somewhat irrelevant comparison in my mind, but it seems like in the law and everything, Canada is like indirectly infected by everything that Americans do because they case different cases and they use the Americans as an example because there's so many similarities, so why don't we just act the same? Regardless of the fact there are 2 different countries, ignore that small technicality. Anyways, so the show that I was watching with Oprah, I was just like, oh man, Michael Moore, he's obviously grappled onto some good issues, and I'm glad that he makes them issues more in the anti-propaganda way that he does. I kind of feel bad how he kind of gets attacked by people as, oh, you put a slant on it, oh, you did this, and you fabricated it, da da da. It's like, well, I mean, come on. He knows who his target audience is, and he doesn't want to, Anyway, I think someone's here, but yeah. Go Michael! Alright, sorry. There was somebody, and they're still there. They're probably like, are you talking to yourself? Anyways, so I was talking about the Sicko movie that was on, and Michael Moore went on Oprah's show to talk about it, and I was watching the recast, and I don't know, it's kind of interesting because I know everyone gets Oprah. It's pretty much like the international spokesperson for American issues, and yeah, I was just wondering what everyone else thought about it. I I have seen the movie Sicko. I'll try to find a link to that as well as the Oprah show if I can. And I feel like the thing I agree with most is when he's talking to everyday Canadians about why they think healthcare is important. And obviously, just like Americans, a lot of us don't really understand the issues completely. I wouldn't even say that I do, because I don't work in the government or healthcare. So, or one of the governments, I guess. Anyways, and I feel like Canada has identity when it comes to their healthcare, and that a lot of us, maybe over the years, especially recently, have been feeling like there's been a lot of American influence. They get a conservative government, we get a conservative government. They increase troops in some Middle East country, why don't we too? And just certain things like that, privatization of different things, especially in British Columbia where I live. I know BC Hydro and some different things that I'm not going to get into. Things are getting more privatized and things are becoming more Republican or right-winged or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, so as a Canadian, I think healthcare is important and it should be a fundamental right of any person, regardless of if they have money. And even though our system isn't perfect in Canada, in BC, I feel like if I was hit by a car or had my fingers chopped off, that I would not be as worried about getting a bill. It might still happen. It's not like every single thing is free. Dental's still not covered all the time. And like certain things, obviously. Certain medications, things like that. So there was a part where Michael Moore said that what the mentality behind social things is, and that's that, you know, my well-being is just as important as the rest of the people in my country, and do I believe that? And do I want to wait in line and this kind of thing and be equal with everyone around me? Or is it just all about me? So anyways, I just feel like, as an added point, that this way of thinking has been affecting the world, and I don't want to say that Americans are the only way that think this way, because obviously all around the world you'll find people that do think this way, especially the very wealthy, the people who do have better lives than everyone else. And I mean, even just me, I bought this stupid iPod because I could finally afford it, and then I realized that maybe it would be easier if I had a Mac, that my laptop is kind of old and it's not really grooving with the iPod software, so it's like not even really working properly. And that's been consuming my life for like 2 days. I'm sure there's more important things, people around me, that I could be more concerned about, but instead, no. And now I'm doing this random YouTube video thing. So, anyways, sorry. So I guess that's the end of my rant about that, and yeah, I was just wondering, what do you think about it? Healthcare? Yes, no?